Hello everyone, this is Harry. Today I'm going to develop a small application that is called weather application. You might have seen this kind of apps in different platforms. So I am designing this platform using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Please follow along. So for the purpose of creating this app, I am using Microsoft Visual Studio as a coding software. You might be familiar with this. And with the help of those software, I am trying my best to design the same kind of app. The main body part, div dot. Let's give the name weather car for the class. This is a block I want to create. Whole block I have named it is weather car, and within this div, within this block, I want to create source field for this first block. For this second, I want to create weather, and the third, which contains two column, I want to name it detail block. Okay, so let's do the skeleton part of this app. Okay, so now let's define the source field. Let's search value, enter. It will automatically complete rest, and within search field, let's create this input box. Okay, input, enter. Okay, it will create input. If you want to see the live here, you can see the input. This is what we want to make, and this is the live of what I am creating here. Okay, so we have created this input box, and after this, let's create the button, and enter or tab. You can see a small button is created, and let's give the name source for that button. Okay, now we have created both elements. One source field element. Within source field, we have created one input box and one button. And then let's create this whole button as weather button. And within that weather, there will be a weather icon, there will be a temperature, there will be a city, and weather details. In another field, there will be weather details, and then we will put humidity and wind speed. So let's design on that part. Okay, so let's define class WATS here. Okay, yeah. Okay. Then within this, let's define image for that. Weather. Okay, so I have downloaded and saved all the images inside the image folder. In order to get that file, let's bring that dot slash image, and then I want to put clear. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, it is updated automatically. So I have selected auto save. Once you type in something here, it will automatically save, and you will see the reflection right away. Okay, this is image. Then after image, we want to bring this temperature in the city. Okay, then let's create. Let's create another mist. Maybe we can name it class, because we have a weather icon. We have to replace it as per users twice. If it is rainy, we have to put rainy picture. If it's cloudy, we have to put cloudy picture. If it's sunny, we have to put sunny picture. So, okay, so let's name it as weather icon for this image. And the next one within this block we want to create is temperature. Okay, so S1 dot temperature. temperature, enter. Let's say 25 degrees Celsius, or 0176. Or 0176 will bring up degree. Okay. And now you can see this live 25 degree. Okay, and then another, yes, one dot city tab. Let's see, BAN, Vancouver. Hey, we have created the first one. Then let's design this thing. Humidity. There are three things: humidity picture, humidity number, humidity in description. One is with in picture, one is with in number, and one is with description. Okay, so under this, within this weather div, let's create another div, and let's name it details. Enter. Okay. Within this detail, let's create two div for this one div for this one div. Okay. Div. Let's put image, and let's provide the source for image. Humidity. Okay, I have already saved those pictures. Okay. You can also download and save it, and later you can change it according to the weather status. Okay, image. This is one block. And there is another block, div. That Yumi dt. Let's say humidity is equal to 80%. And then the Yumi dt. Okay. So we have created one block here. This is one, and within these details, we have created this one, and these two divs. Again, let's create another div. This is one div. Let's copy this. Okay. Then so the second one, that's being is wind plus wind. Let's put 20 km/h wind, and then let's put the description as wind speed. Okay, that's it. That's all we need to do. For the HTML piece, this is what we have to put as the basic contents. I think we have included everything in this content in this HTML page. So let's go on designing. Okay, let's style this element. In order to style, we can do styling in another CSS file, or we can style within this file. So let's create another CSS file. Here I want to give it styles.css name. Okay. Then I want to link this in the index file. So we should link it inside head, link tab. Then you can simply type in CSS file in here. There you go. Now it links to CSS file, and if there's any styling for elements, then it will bring that design from this CSS file. Okay, let's get it started. Okay, so let's start from here, from this source field. I think we have named this field as class source field. Class source field. Class source field has two fields. There's one input and one button. Let's design class source field first. Okay. Before designing class source field, let's define the size for this. Weather icon. I think we have defined this as weather icon. Let's make it 80 for now. We'll work on later. Is it weather icon? I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, it's weather icon class weather icon. Yeah, now we have defined the size of weather icon to 80 pixel width. Okay, so it will be easy for us to start designing from the beginning. Okay, so first, weather car. Style weather car. Let's design background linear gradient. I'm gonna make it 135 and then gold to be as black, and then and to make 50%. Okay, you can see the background, which is I think it started from 135. So starting from here, starting from gold to black, and then almost 50% gold and 50% black is blended on it. Okay. Okay, then let's set the max width for this weather card to 500 px. Okay. Now let's align the text to center. Okay, there we go. And let's do the margin. Okay, 100 px top, auto left and right, and 0 on the bottom. Okay, let's do a few more with equal to 90%. Color equal to white, text color will be white, and the border radius, let's make this corner round. Let's make it 20 pixels. Okay. Padding. Let's do padding. Padding 40 pixel top and bottom, and 35 pixel. 35 pixel left and right. Now it should be in the middle, sign in the middle. Yeah. Okay. Let's design source field. This is source field. Okay, this is source field. So let's do styling for us. Isn't it source field? Yes, it's source field class. Within source field div the input and button. So let's design the source field. BOR border 2 pixel solid blue border radius 10 pixel. Okay, width 100%. Display flex. Justify content. Justify content is space between. Align items center. Okay. Now let's go to input. The whole field is source field. Within source field, let's go to input class. Sorry, yes, input. The source field class and input tab. What you want to do on there is, let's set background color to EV, let's see. And then color for the input. Let's do 5 black. Padding. Okay, 10 pixel and then 25 pixels. This is only for input field. And then height, let's say 40 pixel to increase the height of input field. Border radius, 10 pixel. Font size, 20 pixel. Flex 1. Okay, then margin right a little bit, like 10 pixel. So we got okay. Okay, let's go on next one. .CSS field and then view button. So let's make button width 100%, 100 pixel. Okay, 100 pixel looks good. Okay, and then padding 10 pixel, 25 pixel. And then height, let's do 60 pixel. Okay. And border radius, 10 pixel. Cursor point, when you move here, it will turn into a pointer. Then let's increase font size to 20 pixels. Okay, we have designed this part. Let's move on to next one. Okay, this is weather field. Within weather field, this one is weather icon. This one is temperature of city. This one is city. So let's work on this weather icon first. I think we have designed weather size here. Control X, I want to bring it down. Okay. This is weird for this one. So let's make it 180. It's better now. Weather icon, and let's create a gap between input box and this. So let's put margin top to 50 px. It will increase the gap between this picture and input. And then, okay, that's it. Then let's work on these two. These are within, which are, where are they? They are 80% humidity. So class humidity. Oh no, this one, that's one. Temperature. This one is temperature S1, this one is city S1. Okay. So that temperature S1. Okay. Font size 50 px. Oh, sorry. So we can do it temperature. No, weather S1. So we can define it within weather S1. There are only two S1 within weather. So this is not gonna work. Temperature weather S1. Sorry. Weather S1. We'll increase size for this both. And then line height Let's change line height to 0. 1. 0.5. Now let's work on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. Humidity picture, humidity percentage, humidity description, wine picture, wine in number, wine in description. Okay, so let's divide. There are 2 blocks, I guess, within this details. This is another class details. There is one block with picture 80% humidity, another block with picture wind speed. So let's define its column. Okay. Let's put this inside here. So we can clearly see the block. The first column div, image humidity and humidity. Second column div, image 20 km and wind speed. Okay, so let's work on this column field. Or we can work on detail first, but details. What else we want to do in details? So in details, there are 2 blocks. Under detail, there are 2 blocks. This is one block. This is another block. Okay. And then one more div is there. Okay, so under detail, there is one column div, second column div, second column div. And within this also, there are 2 divs, one div, 2 divs. Within this also, there is one div. There's another div. Okay, okay. So let's work on this. Let's work on details first. So since there are 2 divs in detail, this is first div column, first column, this is second column. Let's display those in flex. So it will be in 2 column. It didn't work. Let's say class name of details. Details. There you go. Now it is divided into 2 columns. Then justify content space between. Okay, justify content space between. And then margin from top. Let's make it 50 pixel or 80 pixel. Okay. And then padding. Padding, let's make it 0 for top and bottom, and 20 for left and right. Let's make it 30. Okay. Okay. Okay, then let's work on column. Dot C-O-L-L-U column. Column. There are two divs inside column, two blocks inside column, each column. Right? There's one div, another div. So let's do display flex for these two. Yes, display flex. Okay, display flex. And then justify content is space between. Okay. Let's work on this image. And then how to define this image? These are image under column image. Let's define the size of column image. Okay, let's make the size with 80 pixel. Okay. And your display margin right in pixel. Border radius 10 pixel. Okay. Now let's design font size. So in order to design font size, we have to choose p tab, column p tab. Column P, font size 18 pixels. So 18 pixel. Align, text align left. Line height 0.5. This is gonna work. Okay, I think we have to define that inside column. Text line from left. Okay, and then line height to 0.5. Yep. Okay, now looks like it's all good. Well, let's remove this border in this border column. We want to keep this border solid border. We'll comment this. Remove this. Now we have designed this successfully. So these are all supplied temperature, city, humidity, and wind speed. We have manually inputted those things. So now we are pretty much done with the styling. So in order to make it functioning, we have to work on JavaScript. Okay. Okay, so let's work on JavaScript file. Okay, so let's create JavaScript file. I want to name it app.js. Okay, and I want to link this here in this body tag. I want to link JavaScript file like this. Let's say enter is equal to, it's in the same folder, so simply type app.js. So it will link to app JavaScript file. Okay. 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 Then let's start from here. JavaScript. So there is one app. You have to import data from that app. For that, you have to have your API key. You have to log in, create account, log in, and then find the API key first. Then you can import data that is related to weather. Let's say you input Kathmandu here. So based on that city you entered, it would import all those weather-related information, and then we can import that data in our app if you have API key and API URL. Okay, so I will tell you the API is Open Weather Map. It's Open Weather Map. You can go here, current weather and forecast. So here you have to have your account. I have already created account. Now you can see I have already created, and it shows my API key. This is my key to access weather information through this site. You can also log in, create your account, providing your basic information. Once you log in, then it will show you your API key like this. Okay, just you have to copy this first. So copy this, and then in this JS file, just for now, let's save this under API key. Okay. Okay, this is my API key. I have copied here. Then what else you need to do is go to API here. Okay, go to API here. This is your API key. Go to API here. There are varieties of data you can import. Now I'm going to go in this current weather data and click in this API.doc. Then you can see this is how to make an API call. This is the API URL to import information for the city you want. Okay, previously it used to be city name, but now they have deprecated that part and they have used latitude and longitude of the city. But do not worry, I have figured out how to set city here. Okay, so let's copy this. Okay. Copy this and paste this here. So what does this mean? It's your API, right? This API, you have to replace this API. API ID is equal to, you have to replace this API with this API. Okay. And what else you need to do is, instead of using latitude and longitude, delete whole thing. From what to here, in say %, delete all, and type in Q equal to city name. Okay, I have added this. If you add this, let's copy this. Let's copy the whole URL. Control C for now. Let's save this. Yeah, I want to comment this. Okay, this is URL. Now I have commented it. This is the whole URL. Okay, once you hit this URL, then it will bring all those information about Vancouver. Right? If you see it in prettier print, you can see coordinate, latitude, longitude, weather. This is the weather ID and main clouds. Under main, you can see clouds, description view, clouds, icon, main temperature is 288. Feels like, okay, this is not Celsius, so we can convert that into Celsius. Visibility, clouds, okay, time zone, Vancouver. These are all the informations. Canada. So let's convert this into before API after Vancouver, you can add conditions ampersand uh, ampersand ampersand metric UNI units is equal to MEDIC. Okay, this is the whole thing. This is your full URL. Okay, if you run this URL, then you will see temperature, minimum temperature, maximum. Now it came into Celsius format. Okay, so this will be your full URL you have to fetch in order to get weather data about the city. Yes, in this case, we have West Vancouver, right? Let's delete this. This link is, so this is very standard, okay? Just you have to remember is that this is very standard. So this is very common. And then Q equal to Vancouver, you added the city, ampersand app ID is equal to this, you added your app ID. So this is the standard URL, full URL. So we will divide it into two and then we will work on that, okay? So this is how you can get the link for your API and then you can extract information. Okay, so you have now more. Oh, we missed, sorry, we can put anywhere. Let's say metric, UNIT units is equal to MEDRI ampersand to paste this in here. Oh, what's wrong? Okay, I will copy this whole URL and then paste here, enter. Okay, yeah, here we go. Then it shows you information related to the city. Clouds, ID type, sunrise, time zone, wind speed, humidity 60, temperature 15.64. All those information. Whatever we need to import, we can import accordingly. Okay, so this is the most important thing. You have to know it. Okay, then let's separate it. So we have already extracted API key here. Let's extract another constant const API URL. Let's save API URL to, we can set that API URL up to here. Okay. So this is API URL for Vancouver city in metric format, and this is your API. Okay, just save these two into API key and API URL, or you can save whole thing and you can fetch whole thing. Okay, I will tell you why do we need to separate this into API key and API URL later. Okay. Okay, so let's leave it as commented and let's start from here. Okay, now in order this to work, what you want to do is let's feed here from here. Let's change this one from here. We have set, sorry, let's okay, let's define the function first. So this is API, and then let's create a function to feed this data and import weather related information. Async function let's create check weather. Okay, this is function check weather function. And in this check weather function, we have to and constant response constant response is equal to await page API URL plus backstick. This is backstick, not the single quote. You have to be sure that it should be backstick, not single quote. Single quote is not going to work. Okay, we want to feed this API key and API URL. So first API URL, then how do we append this one in here? We have to write API API ID is equal to API ID is equal to $, and then curly bracket API key. Okay. This is the command to fetch all those data. So what happens is once you have API key and API URL, meaning you are looking for Vancouver data, then it will fetch that API URL plus API ID is equal to API key, meaning it will use this whole thing. So what does this mean? This means API URL plus API key, API ID equal to $API key, meaning this function will simply merge these two and make it whole URL. Okay. So later we have to get city name from user and we have to append that city name in here. That's why we wanted to separate this API key and API URL. Otherwise, we can simply fed this whole thing. Instead of doing this, we can simply fed this one. It's the same thing. Okay. Using this, when you use this, so you need to get value from here, API key plus API URL. When you use this, you don't need to get value API URL because we have already included API key and API URL. Okay, this is easy, but later you have to supply city and you can't. It is not easy to add city in the middle somewhere, so we just separate this into two, API key and API URL, and then later we add city into it to fetch and to get information that is related to weather of that city. Okay. Okay, so now we fetch everything and it is saved into response. We have two variables, API key, API URL. Through the help of these two variables, we have fetched and created data based on this information for the city Vancouver, and this is all saved in this response. Then let's define another variable data and await response z. Okay, then everything is passed into data now. So this response is passed into data. Okay, main thing will be in the data. Now let's see what does the data look like. Let's print this data in our console. Okay. Now let's see. The developer option you might have understood already. Right click in it, inspect, and you can see. Right. So if we go to console, we have to call check weather. Okay. So How does it work is we have function check weather, and we have supplied this URL, meaning we are looking for Vancouver data, weather related data, and then all the data are passed into variable data. So we can print that data into console log. Okay, console.log data. But in order to print that, we have to, this is just the function defined. There is no function call, right? Once it is finished, then let's call this function. Check weather. Okay. We call this, okay. Now we have called this. Now you can see this is what our app is. And now we have JS file. We have defined this function, and this function shows data in the console. And what is that data? We have to call that check weather. This is check weather function, and within check weather functions, we have fetch this URL, and this URL is importing Vancouver related data and saving it into variable data. And now once we call that function, this function, it will save this data. We can see this thing from here to inspect, and then if you go to console, yeah, you can see that these are the data related to Vancouver. Cloud, coordinate, main, you can see feels like 1483, humidity is 60, pressure 1022, temperature is 1564 maximum and minimum for the day. Name is Vancouver. So how does it import? How does it save in that API URL? Whenever you supply city name, it is saved under name. It is saved under data.name. When you type in Vancouver here, or when you supply city Vancouver from this URL, then it will save that temperature data under data.main.temp. Weather. Cloud. What is the cloudy condition? What is the weather condition? This is cloudy. Sometimes it becomes rain, sometimes it becomes sunny, sometimes it becomes clear, sometimes it becomes drizzle. And then we want to bring this thing over here, or we want to bring image based on this data. Wind. We can see the speed, wind speed. We want to bring that data here. So if we want to import that data from that API, then how can we import that data? We have to bring main.wind.speed. We want to import temperature, we have to import data.main.temp. If this one we have to import city name as data.name. Okay. If we want to import this, if weather dot main data.weather main is equal to clouds, then we can ask to import cloudy PNG, right? If main dot weather dot data dot weather dot mains is equal to rains, then we can ask app to import rainy PNG here. Okay, file here. Okay, so now let's change. Instead of Vancouver, let's change here. London. MDO. Yes. Okay. Then it will import here. London. And then temperature is 9.86. Wind is 1.35. Weather is cloudy. Okay. Now we are able to import data for the city, whatever we fetch from this API URL. Okay. Then now let's work on fetching city name from here. Let's make it more functioning, more what user wants to do. Okay, so let's work on that. Okay, now let's work on changing here, not here. Now we have supplied URL, supplied city, and based on that city, we would be able to input weather information over here. Okay, now we will work to import this information over here, supply from here to URL, and then change weather information here. And later we can change weather information here based on the user's input. Okay, so okay, now let's see. So let's go to, we have to change this thing. We have to change city. We have to change temperature. We have to change this humidity. And then we have to change this wind speed. Okay. So where do we get those things? We have already defined 4 classes: temperature, city, humidity, and wind. Once user input city, then we want to change information accordingly. So for now, we want to change information based on supplied city through this link. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's do it. Document dot synthesis class. So we have to call this using query selector, and then let's see, city dot inner HTML is equal to, what is the city name? Did you see anything there before? What was the city name? I think it was on the data.name. Okay. Yeah, when you supply Vancouver, it goes, so the whole thing is saved into data. So we have to write data, and then which variable does it take? It takes name. It's not under main. So this line is under main, but this line is not under main. So data and name. Okay, data and name. So anything city that is input through here is saved under data name. Okay, let's document query selector temperature dot ml equal to, where was this saved? Data dot main dot tmp. Okay, this one is saved. Okay, data main and then temp. Okay, and what about humidity? Humidity is saved here. Data main humidity. Okay, so temperature, humidity, data main humidity. Okay, then what's the next? Wine speed. Okay, so wine class. Change the wine class by data main temp. Is it data main temp? No. Data wine speed. Sorry, data wine speed. Data wine speed. You can bring as much as you want. There are so many informations, right? We are just trying to bring only one: latitude, longitude, clouds. Okay, so now let's see. Now we want to supply different city here. Kathmandu. Do you see? Kathmandu, temperature is 2312, humidity 73, wind speed 0. There is no Y now. TORIN, Toronto. Do you see 1964? Okay. Now we were able to change 1, 2, 3, 4 items. So let's add percentage here. Let's add kilometer per hour here. Okay. And here also centigrade. So let's add this centigrade here. How do we add centigrade here? So say plus single quote, degree centigrade, 0176. Okay. Okay, you can see centigrade is added here. Here, let's add humidity, let's add percentage, plus single quote, percentage, and in this wind speed, plus kilometer per hour. Okay, you can see the changes. Okay, and let's make it round figure, 19.64. Let's make it round figure. How do we make that round figure? Yeah. X M80s that are round. Okay, there you go. So math.round data.main.temp will make it round 20 degree, Toronto 20 degree. Okay, let's see Delhi. Delhi 30 degree. Now it's early morning, 45 degree humidity and 4.12 wind. Okay, so you're able to change that information based on supplied city name. Previously we were changing here. Now we've been able to change information in our app. Now let's work on changing. Okay, later we'll do it later. So let's work on inputting here and changing information based on that the input rather than supplying from here. Okay. 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 Now let's work on changing here, not here. Now we have supplied URL, supplied city, and based on that city, we would be able to input weather information over here. Okay. Now we will work to import this information over here, supply from here, URL, and then change weather information here. And later we can change weather information here based on the user's input. Okay. So okay, now let's see. So let's go to, we have to change this thing. We have to change city. We have to change temperature. We have to change this humidity. And then we have to change this wind speed. Okay. So where do we get those things? We have already defined 4 classes: temperature, city, humidity, and wind. Once user input city, then we want to change information accordingly. So for now, we want to change information based on supplied city through this link. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's do it. Document dot synthesis class. So we have to call this using query selector, and then let's see, city dot inner HTML is equal to, what is the city name? Did you see anything there before? What was the city name? I think it was on the data.env. Okay. Yeah, when you supply Vancouver, it goes, so the whole thing is saved into data. So we have to write data, and then which variable does it take? It takes name. It's not under main. So this line is under main, but this line is not under main. So data and name. Okay, data and name. So anything city that is input through here is saved under data name. Okay, let's document query selector temperature dot equal to, where was this saved? Data dot main dot tmp. Okay, this one is saved. Okay, data main and then temp. Okay, and what about humidity. Humidity is saved here. Data main humidity. Okay. So temperature, humidity, data main humidity. Okay. Then what's the next? Wine speed. Okay. So wine class. Change the wine class by data main temp. Is it data main temp? No. Data wine speed. Sorry, data wine speed. Data wine speed. You can bring as much as you want. There are so many informations, right? We are just trying to bring only one: latitude, longitude, clouds. Okay, so now let's see. Now we want to supply different city here. Kathmandu. Do you see? Kathmandu, temperature is 2312, humidity 73, wind speed 0. There is no wind now. TORIN, Toronto. Do you see 1964? Okay. Now we are able to change 1, 2, 3, 4 items. So let's add percentage here. Let's add kilometer per hour here. Okay. And here also centigrade. So let's add this centigrade here. How do we add centigrade here? So say plus single quote degree centigrade 0176. Okay. Okay, you can see centigrade is added here. Here, let's add humidity, let's add percentage plus single quote percentage, and in this wine speed plus kilometer per hour. Okay, you can see the changes. Okay, and let's make it round figure 19.64. Let's make it round figure. How do we make that round figure? Yeah. X M-A-T-S that are round. Okay, there you go. So math.round data.main.temp will make it round 20 degree, Toronto 20 degree. Okay, let's see Delhi. Delhi 30 degree. Now it's early morning, 45 degree humidity and 4.12 wind. Okay, so you're able to change that information based on supplied city name. Previously we were changing here. Now we're being able to change information in our app. Now let's work on changing. Okay, later we'll do it later. So let's work on inputting here and changing information based on that the input rather than supplying from here. Okay. 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 Now let's work on inputting city name from here and importing weather information based on that input. Okay. So this one is defined under source field input, right? Source field input, and this one is source field and button. So let's define two variables here. Okay, const source box. Okay, source box and save document dot query selector dot source source field input. Okay. So what it does is it saves source field input on this variable source box. Okay, and then let's use another variable source btn button is equal to document dot query selector source field dot view DDO. Okay. So what it does is when you click here, click this search button, when you input something and click in here, then it will save back the response in the search button. Now we have to create event listener or click on this button, right? So we have defined this search box and search button variables. So once user input city name, goodwill, and click on search, then on that event listener, it would run something and change over here. It would call this check weather function and change here. Okay, so here, now we have to supply city. And then we have to add city name here. Okay, that's why we have created this whole URL into API key and API URL, and we have concatenated over here. So now let's concatenate city. Once city is supplied through search box, it goes here. Okay, and let's create event listener here. Okay, let's create event listener here. So it will run check weather only when SSR's btn dot is event listener click is purple. Okay, then how do we write this function here? Then what does this mean? Source button add event listener click. If source button is clicked, this is the syntax. Source button is clicked, then run this add event listener function. What should it do then? It should call the function check weather based on source box value. Okay, source box value. Let's remove this. Okay. Now we have created source box, source button to variables, and once user click this source button, it will check whether function with source box value. What is the source box value? Source box value will be the city name. It will supply city name. When you click here, the system will supply city name and call check weather function. This is check weather function. Then it will fetch that city name here, save everything in data, and then it will write to console and it will write to document. It will write this element here as well. Okay. Now let's try the arrow and tutorial. Oh, it's not important. Calgary. Oh, there's something wrong. Oh, God. Hmm. Oh, yeah, I think we have to remove this city which we have supplied previously. Let's say Vancouver, right? Vancouver. Because it gets conflicted. So, okay, now let's see. Edmonton. Search. There we go. 17 degree, 20. New York. New York, okay. Nice. California, 23 degree, 89, 3.09. Okay. So it is showing in this console as well. And from this, we have imported some data in our API as well. So if you want, then we can add more information from here, time zone, visibility. We can bring this description, weather main data dot weather dot description over here somewhere. We can add field elements, and then we can import those information that we can extract from that open weather API. Okay. So okay, now let's change this picture based on weather condition. Okay, this is the default one we have. Set this is clear PNG. When weather is clear, then we want this image be placed here. When weather is rainy, then we want rainy picture. When weather is mist, we want the same picture. Cloudy, we want cloudy picture. Okay, so I have, for the purpose, I have downloaded a few pictures: clear, cloudy, drizzle, haze, humidity. Humidity and wind is already used. Wind, rain is by default there. So we want to use these pictures for different weather conditions. So let's work on that. Though we have changed city name, it hasn't changed this sunny situation. Let's say if we input London, okay, the London is 10 degree. And if you check console report, the weather is cloud, but the picture is sunny here, so we have to make cloudy picture. Okay, so let's work on that. APPS, we can use if statement for the purpose. Okay. So this is function, right? Check weather function. So we have to write within check weather functions in this function. So we have written city name, we have written temperature, we have written humidity, we have written while space. Now let's see. If let's say the data dot what is oh good one. Good well sounds okay, so main, it is under main. Where do you see the I think visibility weather? Yeah, it's here. Main is equal to clear. Okay, then let's see if data dot WA, yes, here weather, and this is the array weather dot main is equal to CLOUDS clouds sorry main is equal to clouds. Then what? Then WE TSER PICTUI weather picture. Okay, let's create a variable constant here. Let's create a variable constant weather picture. Okay, not weather icon. This is weather icon. Yeah, or we can say weather icon. Let's change weather icon to weather picture. Weather picture, constant weather picture. Document that query selector that weather icon. What does it do is it takes the weather picture, saves the weather icon. Which one is weather icon? In current screen, clear PNG is the weather icon. Okay, what it does is it saves weather icon into weather picture. And let's say if data.weather.main is equal to clouds, then change weather picture dot source to dot slash image slash cloudy dot png. Okay, png. Let's use if DT data dot WATSCI 0. This is array dot MAIN is equal to ZH WATSCI IC pixel dot SRC is equal to image SAZE dot PNG. Let's see if the data dot W is the weather 0 dot MAN is equal to what else we have? RAIN then sorry this is so much rain then the weather picture dot source is equal to dot slash INA images slash we have RAIN WBP. Okay, this is fine. ELF we have data dot W weather 0 dot MN is equal to DRI drizzle, then replace weather picture dot from the source plus image slash DRI dot PNG. Okay, PNG. This is inside image folder. Okay, let's see. ELSI, really? Check to tell you whether dust. No. Toronto. There you go. It sends rainy picture. It's raining. We check Toronto weather. It's rainy. We check Calgary weather. It's cloudy. We check wherever weather. It's cloudy. Check check Texas weather. Texas weather. It's cloudy. Yeah, Beijing. Undefined. Manila. As a Dhaka. What is Dhaka's weather? Dhaka weather. Haze. Okay, this is haze. Okay, so this is how we can change the weather picture.